So, we all have things we know we should do but hate doing, like working out first thing in the morning, drinking 2 liters of water a day, reading a book a month, writing every day, or simply just keeping your Invisalign on for 18 hours a day. Most new behaviors, especially those that are good for you, start out feeling like, I really hate this, why can't I stop? And then after a while, it starts feeling like, I guess it's not that bad, I think I can do this. And then eventually you start feeling like you miss it when you don't do it. So in this video, we're going to be talking about how to get from I hate this to I miss this. If you're someone that has problems forming habits or just have things that you are trying to do every day but hate, just keep on watching. Okay, first up, we're going to talk about the prep work. Instead of jumping headfirst into a new habit, here are some things to do before you begin so you hit the ground running. First, form an identity. Habits can't be formed or kept up with just motivation or willpower or even habit tracking tools, especially when it's something you hate doing. Motivation is fleeting, and while willpower is important and can help in the short term, the best way to form a habit is to define the person you want to become. For example, I'm an avid reader, I'm an active person, I'm an early sleeper, etc., etc. So James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, says that a habit has to be established before it can be improved. It has to become your new normal before you go about worrying about optimizing it or expanding it. So mastering the art of showing up and becoming the type of person who does certain habits, like say goes to the gym, reading daily, eating healthy, is the compulsory starting point. If you can't be the guy who walks into a networking event every single week without fail, even if it's just to stay for 5 minutes without talking to anyone, how can you ever become the person who goes for a networking event and make 5 new connections every week? Establish the person you want to become first before you start doing the habit. Imposter syndrome might have you thinking day after day that you're not good enough to accomplish the things you set out to do or stick to the habits you're trying to build. But showing up and doing the work every single day will slowly but surely erode the negative thoughts and further strengthen the identity you have carved out for yourself. Next, have a plan. Now that you've figured out your why, come up with a tangible and measurable goal with a deadline. What your secondary school teacher, or I guess high school if you're an American, told you when you were 13 still stands true. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Having clear, quantifiable goals help keep you on track and make sure you're not deluding yourself into thinking you're making significant progress when in actual fact you're not. If your goal is to exercise more, your goal could be going to the gym 3 times a week or running twice a week, doing yoga every day, or even simply going on a 2 km walk every other day for the next 2 months. And the intensity, difficulty, and duration of the goal is completely up to you. Pick something that is not too easy that you'd get bored, but also something that is not too impossible that you'd give it up in a week. Pick a goal that is challenging yet manageable. Start small and work your way up. Small steps will help you achieve big things. It might take a little longer, but it is likely that you'll keep going. Also, make sure that you plan out the exact days you are going to perform the act if it's not something that you're doing daily. Having a plan of action helps you execute in a much quicker and easier fashion. You now no longer have to decide when and how you're going to do certain things. It has already been planned out. Of course, nothing is set completely in stone, and there are certain days where things may not go according to plan and you have to reschedule. But having an overarching order of business will help keep you in check most days. Alright, now that we've gotten the strategizing and planning all laid out, it's time to execute. We're getting a strong start, but how do we make sure we stick it out and keep the habit going? First things first, an accountability partner. Having an accountability partner is one of the best ways to stick to a habit. You're able to rely on not just your willpower and dedication, but also the willpower and dedication of someone else to keep you moving. An accountability partner means you're committed to not just yourself, but someone else too. This adds gentle peer pressure to the mix. Of course, an accountability partner could make or break this experience, so be careful when you pick yours. Go with someone who won't ridicule you when you mess up, but will rather encourage you to keep going. It should be a partnership where the goal is to problem solve together, like looking for triggers that may lead to a failure. For example, getting drunk the night before so you're too hungover to exercise on Sundays, not speaking from personal experience, or scrolling through social media as your way of relaxing before bed, thus leading to the inability to sleep early and wake up early. And of course, the partnership is also where you celebrate small victories together. But if you can't or just simply don't want to, find one person in particular to be your accountability buddy. James Clear says to join a group or tribe where your desired behavior is their normal behavior. Your habits are going to be signaling to the people around you that you belong in that group. You're one of them. So this will help further solidify your new identity. It could be an online community. So Matt Diavella has an online community, and so does Rowena Sai and so many other YouTubers online. Or you could even find a small local group in your area. If your habit is to public speak more, for example, join a Toastmasters near you. Or if you want to read more, sign up for a book club. Next, physical reminders. So physical reminders are an easy way to remind yourself to perform a habit. You're more likely to do something if it's convenient and you don't have to think about it. If you want to do more cardio first thing in the morning, for example, keep your gym clothes and skipping rope right beside your bed. Or better yet, wear your gym clothes to sleep. If you want to remember to wear your retainers, keep it beside your toothbrush. So digital reminders can work too. Things like setting a reminder on your phone to write a one-page essay the next day or to read a book is a pretty good way to keep you from using the old I forgot as an excuse. So a very powerful trick to form habits is batching the new ones with the old ones. Let's say you're trying to remember to eat your vitamins every single morning and drink more water during the day. And let's just say you make yourself coffee every single morning without fail. Leave your vitamins and a 1 liter water bottle right beside your coffee machine. That way, when you get up to make your coffee in the morning, you will see your vitamins and remember that you have to take them. While attempting to take your vitamins, you're going to have to fill up your bottle with water to swallow them. So once your bottle is filled, it is more likely that you also bring it along with you throughout the day and continue to drink more water. So this coffee drinking habit, it's not my place to say if it's a good or bad one. It acts as a catalyst for your vitamin and water drinking habits. This works so much better when the old habit is something you enjoy doing or something that is so part of your routine that you don't even think about doing it anymore. And also remember to have physical or digital cues to remind yourself to do the new habit with the old one. This is one of my favorite tricks and it works very well, especially when you're just starting out with a new habit. So this is something I just had to include. So Matt Diavella, one of YouTube's most prolific habit experts and one of our favorite YouTubers to watch in general, came up with a 2-day rule where he doesn't allow himself to take more than 2 days off a habit in a row. The 2-day rule allows him to give himself much needed breaks, and we all need a break sometimes. It just makes sure that your break stops at being a break and doesn't end up as the end. This rule also allowed him to ensure that he was showing consistency in his habit building process, and it was a guardrail to keep him from slipping into a slow but steady regression, from missing days that turned into weeks or even months. So like what Marco Bartwell said in his TEDx talk, what your daily behaviors are, whatever you do over and over again is what your brain decides is important. Repetition and consistency is what the brain decides is important. So the 2-day rule encourages repetition and consistency. And that is how you build habits. Last but not least, we're going to talk a little bit about hacking your dopamine reward system. Now, if we're trying to think about ways to hack the system, an excellent way is by setting small milestones to hit. Whenever you hit a small milestone, dopamine, the infamous reward neurochemical, gets released. When you set a small number of milestones instead of just one giant looming goal, you're able to trick your brain into rewarding you during the process. So you start to feel joy and low levels of excitement while on the way to the goal. Neuroscientist Dr. Andrew Huberman talks about how dopamine not only rewards you for accomplishing a certain behavior, but also helps you not quit. So every time you exert effort, a certain amount of adrenaline is released. At some point, when enough adrenaline has been released, it shuts down cognitive control of your brain and you quit. Having these small milestones and hits of dopamine will help you keep going day after day. As a closing note, I just wanted to say one thing. It is okay to fail. Everyone does. There are some habits that are just going to take a few more tries before you make stick, and there are some habits that maybe just aren't as important to you as you thought they might be. So sometimes you might have even been over ambitious when setting your goals, or you might have just picked a bad time to start a habit, or that particular habit. Just because you failed does not make you a failure. One failed habit does not define you. What is important is that you pick yourself back up, reflect and understand why you failed in the first, second, or even third time. Come up with a different action plan, maybe rewatch this video again, and most importantly, try again. Be patient and be consistent. Alright, we have come to the end of our video. So if you'd like to see more videos like this, please let us know down in the comments below. We'd love to hear if you have any other tips on habit formation and upkeep as well. Please like the video and subscribe if this video on habit building was helpful to you at all. And remember to click on the bell notification icon as well if you'd like to know when we post a new video. Bye!